Who rules?
I assume you're a government agent?
What's the best game you've ever played? Is it Final Fantasy VI? Is it Ocarina of Time, Half-Life, Metal Gear Solid? You know what? Actually, I don't care. Because if you don't say Secret Service for the PS2, then you're wrong.
Whoopsie daisy!
I hope you like the color blue and a stimulating voiceover. You play as Secret Service Agent Pierce. Now that's a cool guy. No first name needed. Pierce is contacted by a guy calling himself Semper. Fun fact about the word Semper, it rhymes with temper, and this game definitely will not test that in any way. No sir. Semper tells Pierce that he better be on the lookout for the president's safety because someone may be planning to do him harm. Oh, wow! A member of the Secret Service would never have thought to do that. The president gets attacked. Oh no. This dramatic moment is depicted in what looks like a loading screen from Call of Duty. You see, the game's developer, Cauldron HQ, probably wanted to animate this, but they realized that people wouldn't be able to handle this political drama, so they took the cheap way out to spare us the searing intensity. Thank God. So, a bunch of stuff happens and Pierce ends up as a one-man army, needing to stop the brown people from spilling blood on our soil. They hail from a fictitious island called Costa Cintava, which, thankfully, the developers programmed the bad guys to shout over and over so you don't forget. They've brought a highly dangerous nerve gas into the country, but there's no way they could have done it without help from the inside. Whoa! So, you run around shooting stuff aided by Agent Doyle.
Doyle?
He basically walks you through the game, feeding you bits of exposition as you go along. So then, the farmer rep called and said, well, a few kids lit themselves on fire and a few others brought a gun to class after going cold turkey, but your coffers are looking a little light. The game has all sorts of twists and turns. Is the mole the vice president-elect? The president-elect? Oh, right. The original president in the opening scene succumbed to his wounds. I cried so much.
Specifics. What are you implying, Agent? I'm stating that I believe, Agent, you are speaking to the Vice President of the United States of America.
Fun fact, 32nd Vice President of the United States, John Nance Garner, once described the vice presidency as not worth a bucket of warm piss. I don't agree. Look how much the last several vice presidents have accomplished, mister. I'll wait. Seriously, I'll wait. Oh, and spoiler, near the end of the game, the vice president-elect, William Fritz, is killed, and the president-elect calls out to him by his name, calling him Jim instead of William. Well, the voice actor's name was Jim Ward, so did the voice actor die in studio, or... I think it was deliberate to make the player question reality. This game is that deep. And hey, whoa, an actual cutscene, not the usual wireframe loading screen ones. The president-elect talks on the phone. The cinematography is incredible. Did you see that camera shift? Holy moly. As it turns out, the House Speaker, Davies, was the bad guy all along. You might be wondering, who? Stop asking so many questions, Jesus. So after doing stuff, you rescue the new president, and your big treasure is a nice fat handshake and a thanks. Of course, this was done in that wireframe style to drive home the emotional impact of such a rich reward. I mean, he could have at least given you a gift card to Shakey's or something. Oh, but if you stick around for the post-credits scene, which I did folding laundry, I mean paying close attention, you get a sort of Metal Gear-esque ending with Semper and Pierce talking about what happens next.
Costa Centavo.
That's almost a given. There are tyrants in every other country, son. Waving to a cheering crowd while they're killing another crowd in secret fields. Sometimes it takes a generation to identify a Hitler or a Stalin. Or a Vargas, but sometimes...
Ooh, sequel bait. Well, this game came out in 2008, and we're now approaching autumn of 2024. Some people say it's never coming. Well, they said that about Shenmue 3, and well, suffice it to say, the fans had their patience rewarded there. At one point in the story, Agent Doyle tells you that the lives of senators and congressmen are in your hands. Oh yeah, thanks Doyle. Wouldn't want to fumble that valuable package. If they die, who will orchestrate the wars and make a fortune from insider trading? Won't someone think of the geriatric millionaires? Holy shit, look at that skybox. I felt like I was in Washington, D.C. for a second there. Here we see the secret of the Secret Service: clones. For each set of characters in the game, the agents, the bad guys, etc., you get one single character model. I think this is cool. It adds a layer of conspiracy to this story. It's a science fiction masterpiece in disguise. Here we see our clones fighting clones from another nation, except they are equipped with Marty McFly life preservers. Checkmate, North America. I also like how the flags look like big ice cream cones. I can't tell if the textures haven't loaded yet or just never existed. Oh, and Cauldron decided that glass effects were too troublesome to include here, and I agree. This is obviously government-grade diamond glass. You just don't know that, you stupid idiot. Also, when I look at this George Bush memorial, my hog swells with pride. Pretty sure that's who that is. Look at how cool the cover art is for the game, by the way. They show brass spurting forth from the ejection port, which doesn't happen in the game. They also show the agent holding this pistol like a complete dullard, as well as people rappelling from a helo, which also never happens. Hell yeah. The UI is nearly identical to the Call of Duties of its time. The compass strip with a yellow objective marker, the stance icon, as well as icons for ammo, your weapon type, and grenades, of which there is only one. And, much like Call of Duty, Secret Service gives you historically important quotes upon dying. Wow, thanks guys.
Kill him! Move, move!
You've also probably noticed the weapon models in the game, and holy smokes, look at those textures. You can practically feel the cold metal and polymer through the screen. If you think this is good,
and you fucking better,
you should hear how they sound.
What, there's no doorbell? That wasn't in the brochure. Alright, look, you're gonna need to find the security door control room. You can deactivate the lock mechanism from there.
Alright, I'll radio in when I found the control room. Doorbell. Nice.
Costa Centava forever!
Listen to that hilarious banter between two men. Just casual chatter between the boys. Oddly enough, Agent Pierce is portrayed by Nolan North, the dude that played some cannibal in The Last of Us and not much else. The rest of the characters are probably played by that one guy that loves ascots, I don't know. All I know is that the wart on my crotch has gone down significantly since I started using Compound W. Hey!
It's a shooting gallery in here!
Oh, that's intense.
It's a shooting gallery in here!
You already said that.
It's a shooting gallery in here!
Why do you keep saying that?
It's a shooting gallery in here!
Stop saying that.
Agents have disappeared tracing the Vice President's movements. It could just as easily be you. So what do you want to do, son?
God, the acting is so good. But the sound effects are even better. For the night vision goggles, they tried a Splinter Cell type sound effect, but it sounds like when turtles bust. There's also a soundtrack in this game. I know, I remember hearing something. The weapon effects sound like they were filtered through a Folgers coffee can with the coffee grounds still packed into it. In addition to sounding like muffled garbage, they're a tremendous joy to play with. Yeah, baby, look at that gameplay. The good part about the frame rate being such utter junk is that you get to fully appreciate the animations on display during combat. It's really neat to have this slideshow effect. You can point your weapon, aim down the sights, and squeeze the trigger. Are you hard yet? Wait until you see the taser. They replaced the knife melee from COD with this amazing taser. It's shockingly good. Ha ha! They've also added tactical moves like leaning. Ready or not, eat your heart out. SWAT 4, more like snot 4, am I right or am I right? Also, the AI is incredibly smart. Take this guy for instance. He knows the only thing that stops 762 is a good sturdy bush. And if you weren't convinced, look at how relentless the AI is during the heat of battle. Never let them know your next move, baby. The game has a 40 cal pistol, a shotgun, and a bunch of other stuff that goes bang. I want to run down the list, but I don't want to spoil the surprises for you when you inevitably run out and buy this game. I'll warn you, this game does have a hacking minigame, and it's a real barn burner. It's definitely not a tedious, overused mechanic throughout the game, and is most certainly not a cheap knockoff of BioShock. Shut up already. Defusing bombs is just as thrilling. In the description of the minigame, it says, "Have fun." Yeah, like I wasn't doing that already. Whoever designed this, don't be ashamed, dude. You've made millions of people happy. And anyone that calls this an abortion of video game design that completely ruins the pace of the game are just talking out of their kazoo. It's awesome to have to do this 25,000 times. Yeah! Throughout the majority of the game, you point a weapon at bad guys and hope the overly aggressive auto-aim doesn't ruin your good time. But then the devs got really crazy with the cheese whiz and threw in some top-flight platforming. Holy cow, this is good. Ugh, so good. Then you have this nail-biting section where Agent Pierce has to navigate a treacherous laser field. You know, this is actually some shit the US government would do. Suddenly, all at once, your fellow agents are ordered to attack you. Doyle commands Pierce to use his taser weapon and do the right thing by sparing his colleagues. What a genius. I tell you what, if I walked into work and my coworkers pointed MP5s at me, I would totally not try to immediately waste them. I'd want them to wake up and have a good long think about what they've done. It's hilarious that these guys can't stop a single man with a taser. Good thing this is just a video game. There's no way that the real Secret Service could be this incompetent. It's so thrilling when you get to play the night section, fending off waves of clones while constantly running out of night vision batteries. This whole scenario is truly gripping. I didn't know if I would survive the night, but wait until you see the helo combat. Remember how fun it was to control the AC-130 Spectre gunship in Modern Warfare in the mission Death from Above? Well, get a load of this. The action is pulse-pounding, but then they give you these long, protracted sections where absolutely nothing happens. Literally nothing at all. I think it's so that you can reflect on the lives you've taken. Or something. Anyway, this section is perfectly paced, and certainly doesn't go on way too long. Also, a cool thing I noticed about Secret Service, the game, is how much backtracking you do in each level. I don't think this was done to pad out the 3-hour runtime at all. I think they just wanted you to experience a double dose of adrenaline. Mission accomplished, fellas. The final level takes place inside of Air Force One. Yeah. You run around until you breach this wall with some cold spray. Seriously. It's super thrilling, obviously. You crumble this wall like a graham cracker and then shoot the traitorous speaker while he dances behind a small chair. It really tested my marksmanship. That's it. The president is safe. Thank God. So, that was Secret Service on the PlayStation 2. The game sold 400 copies and has an average of 0% on Metacritic. Seriously. Alright, I suppose I'll come clean. As if you couldn't already tell, this entire video was me having a bit of a laugh. This review, like the game itself, was a complete joke. But not as big of a joke as Leslie Headland.
You serious?